Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Wow.
2018.
I'm not clapping for a year
First
before I
day of 2018.
No, I learned my lesson. I'm not clapping for a year before I know it.
Why? Really?
I need to get to know this year before I clap.
I think we can welcome the year with open arms. It's a big deal. The year is a big deal.
Why?
I mean, would you clap for a concert before it started? Some people do. You don't
If
know what
that
kind of show you're
artist
going
had
to
earned my trust.
Wow.
If I go to a bar and some band gets on stage, I go, all right, we'll see. Maybe I'll even boo. Oh, but you know what? Boo 2018. Until you earn a yay. How does 2018 get over?
What do you mean?
Well, like wrestlers need to get over, whether they're a heel or a face.
Well, I mean, it would be, I feel like 2016 and 2017 were build years. You know, they were the tough years.
Ooh.
And 2018
They were
is
debuild.
Well, yeah, maybe they were striking down. Maybe 2018 is the pivot point. Maybe that's the point where, as a planet, we go, hey, you know what? This stuff's been too bad and too serious for a long time. Why do we change that? Jesse, what were you saying?
You know why none of that matters?
Why?
Because our good friend, Neil deGrasse Tyson, tweeted something.
Oh.
The ultimate party pooper. He said that, not that anybody asked, but New Year's
Correct.
Day.
That should be the beginning of every Neil deGrasse Tyson tweet.
Sorry, but he said what?
Not that anybody asked, but New Year's Day on the Gregorian calendar, which is the one we all use, is cosmically arbitrary event. Is a cosmically arbitrary event carrying no astronomical significance at all.
What's the opposite of arousal? Neil.
Well, I mean, at a certain point, you have to at some point put a mark in the sand at some point and say this is a year, because we base all the planets on like a Venus year is, what is it, half of Earth's year or whatever, and then a Pluto year is like a million Earth years.
Neil's a smart man.
Oh.
And he followed that up with this.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Meanwhile, the dates of the Chinese New Year, Lent, Easter, Passover, Christmas, all reference astronomical events.
That's right, because most of them based on pagan festivals.
So, New Year's means nothing, but Lent, that's when we should all be making resolutions.
I know Lent is when me and all my friends gather and we party like crazy past midnight and we freak out. We're like, 3, 2, 1, Lent! Catholic school! It's the best. What'd you guys do for New Year's? Last night.
Yeah, because it's the first day of the year. We're putting in that work in 2018. That's for sure. Last night I went to the Keg Mansion with my fiance.
You went there.
And
is it haunted?
It didn't look haunted, but there was probably 200 people there. What's that?
Damn.
Yeah, it's a great place. Have you ever been?
No, because that's one of those places that plebs like Jesse and I,
it's a keg.
We go by it and we go, wow, it looks excellent. But too excellent for us. We shouldn't go.
It's a keg.
No, that is an Adam Wilde place to be.
Yeah. Listen, I understand that it's a keg and I could just walk in the door.
It's a steakhouse.
But I understand that. No, I'm not worthy.
For everybody that doesn't know, the Keg Steakhouse is based in the street that actually we are on currently right now, which is Jarvis. Jarvis used to be one of the richest streets in Canada, and they have these old gargantuan mansions that are still here 150, 200 years later, and that mansion was owned by the Massey family. It was also CFRB at one point, which is the first radio station that Rogers Broadcasting ever owned. CFRB, RB stands for Rogers Batteryless, because they used to make radios, and they had a radio station. Boom. Trivia.
I almost fell asleep.
Listen, I'm just saying. Anyway, it's beautiful. You walk in, it's fun. We had to wait an hour and a half for a table. So
wow.
I looked at Caprice, I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do this. And she looked at me, she's like, you're going to do this.
You didn't have rezos?
No, we just thought we'd walk in.
You tried to go, wow.
Yeah.
And
Well,
because, again, like the huevos to just be like, I'm gonna walk into the Keg Mansion
On New Year's.
because I'm Adam. What like? Did you walk in with cowboy boots and spurs and just
a nice John
does the
Barbato's
Keg
team?
Mansion have like those rickety wooden doors like in a saloon in every Western movie that you kick? You have to kick it open. You can't just politely be like, I'm entering the saloon.
No, it's Victorian though. It's too nice. You can't
Have
do
you
that.
ever been to Casa Loma?
I have never been inside Casa Loma.
Okay.
Never once.
I was about to say I've never been inside Casa Loma, but I feel like you would have done
No,
that.
I would have loved to have. I don't know why I've never been over there, but I never have. Apparently, it's a great concert venue. They're turning into like they're doing shows there now and stuff,
Yeah.
which is cool. But yeah, anyway, so I did that. We hung around the bar for about an hour. Picked up one of those bar tables. Eventually, somebody leaves, so we hung out there, and then we had steak, and then went home and watched the new Dave Chappelle specials on Netflix, which I didn't even know are out, which are amazing,
so
by the
there's
way.
new ones.
Yeah, new ones.
And they're so good.
Is it 2 or 1?
Two.
So he's released
Oh, wow.
4 in the last.
I think
6
he's going.
months?
I think this is it though. Like I think he's going away after this. One of them,
I guess.
one of them's at the the Comedy Cellar or Comedy Bar or whatever in Los Angeles. That's the second one, and they're both. What's interesting about them is they're both very modern. Like they just happened.
Yeah.
Like he did one in DC. He's talking about Trump and Trump's first year in office, so it didn't happen that long ago. And then the second one, he's talking about Harvey Weinstein, and it happened the day they busted Charlie Rose from CBS This Morning and PBS.
He also
that
has
was like-
Louis C.K. in there.
Yeah.
So that's how new
That was
it
like
is.
weeks ago.
And they asked him about, well, you knew Louis C.K., so what are your thoughts on this?
so is this a stand-up special?
Yeah, 2 stand-up
Yeah.
sessions.
So who asks him?
Well, no, like he talked about
he's
how
telling us.
the
Sorry,
press asked him. Sorry, yeah.
I'm so literal. It's like
Who stood
It's
there
like
and
a-
asked him?
Which audience member stood up and asked the question?
Joe from Iowa, Steve.
it's like a comedy act full of weights, just weighing you down. Man, I listened to that clip from the best of.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
bad.
as bad
kidding.
as I remember
It's
it.
not
It-
bad.
it was
it's funny.
terrible.
It's pretty bad.
No, yeah, Adam. It's bad.
You think it's bad?
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's just a dumb thing
And
that
I got to
Steve
do it
did.
again.
That's funny.
Still dumb. Time has passed. Still stupid. You're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we should rename those to like the Steve
Episode
Dangle
full of
podcast.
weights.
Boy, we had a stupid year. Part 1 and 2.
I know. I tried to give a nice intro, like Jesse made a great show for you guys, and here we go.
You hadn't even heard it yet.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just
Your
guessed.
intro. Yeah, I know. I give an intro talking up the episode, and then I'm like, can't wait to hear it. And Adam's like, this is bad. This is gonna be bad. This is us at our worst.
I don't need to talk up the episode. I think people know what they're in for.
Talk.
Like, I don't need to sell people on what this show
It's
is.
also a
You're
best
either in or
of.
you're not.
So you've heard everything before. What does he need to talk up?
What if you haven't?
I mean,
Who are these people?
well, I mean, that's
They'll get you.
possible. That's very, very possible that certain people hadn't heard certain things. But I mean, dude, it's if they listen to the show, they have a pretty good understanding what we're all about.
Maybe someone who was on the fence about listening was like, well, I want to see how they are at their very best.
Well, then definitely Jesse putting in our first episode ever was a great idea.
I couldn't get all the way through that. Although
I got about 5 minutes in.
I did not realize how long we've been doing the show. We're talking about the upcoming draft, and we're talking about Nathan McKinnon. We've been doing the show since before Nathan McKinnon was drafted. What?
The first full season that we did this show, I think it was the Colorado Avalanche were number 1 like all year long, and then we're bounced in the first round. They were best team in the league.
That was Patrick Waugh year where he won the Jack Adams.
Was it the Patrick Watt? Yeah, it
trying
might
to
have been.
Thing.
And people were like, and he got up and like slammed his hands against the glass and stuff in his first game, and
Yeah, against
Yeah.
Bruce Boudreau's Anaheim Ducks. I'm
fairly
pretty
sure that was the one.
Yeah, he won it in 2013-14.
Yeah, that was the year.
That was the year.
And
Crazy.
that was one of the great Corsi battle years because, hey, all I do is watch Avalanche games and watch them win every night. They're third place this year. Next year, I predict first or second.
Yep, and they've sucked ever since.
Didn't go good. It looked okay the other night.
Yeah. So anyway, what did you guys do? New Year's.
I went to Curtis, Ontario, and played a card game called 31.
I've never played that. How do you do that?
You get 3 cards each, and you try to get the closest to 31 as you can.
it's like
with all the same
blackjack?
suit. Wait. And if you finish last, you have to do a shot. Or if you get 31, then everyone else has to do a shot.
So you're encouraging drinking.
We got drunk, yes.
You're encouraging drinking.
We had
How irresponsible.
consumed alcohol, and we were intoxicated. It had an effect on us. there was also a lot of cheese. That's New Year's at 29. Jesse, what did you do?
29. Dude, New Year's at 29. So different than New Year's at 26, man. Anyway, sorry, Jesse. Yeah. New Year's at 26, we were in a chalet going,
And like I walk in the door last night, and I'm like, oh shit, prosciutto. I'm like, whoa!
I can't wait to get. Caprice and I were walking home last night, going, I can't wait to get into the couch and we'll watch some Dave Chappelle and hang with the dog. That's our thing, Jesse.
Bindi was like, I really just
could give a shit
I wish
if you
they
guys
had
are
gone
here.
out.
Yeah.
I was in the great Canadian city of Edmonton, Alberta.
And did not
To
tell
watch
us.
the Oilers destroy the Winnipeg Jets.
It was probably the worst game I've been to for a home team.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't get anything going at any point in the entire game, and the crowd started booing. It was like midway through the third.
That's what I love about Oilers
4-0.
fans. They don't take that shit.
A little bit of booze
So
came down.
after that game, I read a tweet that the Oilers have currently, I mean, might not end this way, but they currently have the worst, it's either power play or penalty killing percentage of the last 30 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty shocking. Apparently 5-on-5, they're fine.
Yeah, and there was
They're fine. Like
it
in the
was
middle of the pack.
2 or 3 power play goals last night. So yeah,
But none for them.
I was reading 30.
Oh, so it must have been penalty kill.
In 31 Thoughts, I was reading something along the lines of Connor McDavid is 102nd in the last year or so in terms of shots taken on the power play. And a GM said as soon as he starts taking shots on the power play, we're screwed. But until then, we know how to defend this. And that seems to be the issue, is that he doesn't shoot on the power play. He's setting everybody else up. Now he has, I think in 2007, the calendar year, he had 70 assists, which is insane in
Yeah,
today's
last year
NHL.
he had 30-70. Yeah. 30 goals, 70 assists.
That's crazy. That's a lot of assists.
Wow, so you saw that.
yeah, they
Live.
but they might have the nicest arena in all of North America. It's
pretty good,
or
right?
at least
I
Canada
can't wait to
for
see it.
sure. Rogers Place is gorgeous, and they have this giant concourse where you walk in first of all, and there's this massive screen. You can't believe that this thing that's like 100-foot wide is standing above you while you're trying to.
So it's
get
like
into
Maple
the
Leaf Square
building.
inside.
Yeah,
You need to do that in Edmonton.
and the hall is big enough because you need to squeeze everybody in there
Because
and
you can't have them outside.
It was so cold all weekend.
What'd you get? Because it's been -15 to -22 here. And then there's wind chill, which is
wish.
stupid. But
I
what
wish.
was
was
it
it?
out there?
I wish.
Wait, it was Edmonton
With
cold.
wind chill. -55.
Stop it.
Shut up.
I'm not joking.
No.
It was regular -30. Casually, it'd go like -25.
And that's regular for
at
them.
the good time. But then if you add the wind chill and like feels like, it says -50.
Different cold, though. It's different cold.
It is different.
That's
Way different.
But
a
you
jump
can't be
up.
outside for.
That's a jump up.
You can't be outside for more than 5 minutes.
No.
3 minutes. You'll
That's
die.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Berkshire has been, he visited Alberta, his home, for the holidays. And he was posting all these screenshots. He's like, love the winter in Alberta. It's great here.
It was
Hey,
death.
great here.
I'm
Wow.
interested, just wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this show, have a look at the temperature today where you are and send it to us. And send it to us in Fahrenheit or send it, centigrade, whatever it is, you look at it. And I just want you to know that today in Toronto, we broke a record for this day. It hit -22.6 today.
Celsius.
The cold weather record was set in 1968 the last time, and it is 21.1 Celsius.
That's
So it is
shite.
So it is the coldest it has ever been in recorded history today for this day of the year.
cool. Neat. Happy to have lived it.
It is really
Rash.
cold. I took what I've noticed is like it's been so cold that my dog doesn't want to go outside, and like
Iggy and Charlie too.
She
and
won't
they're
go to
not
the bathroom.
short-haired dogs like Bindi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
Sounds like smart dogs.
Yeah, smart dog.
I wouldn't go outside either.
So anyway, hockey.
Yeah,
sorry, we should
sorry.
talk hockey.
Oh, yeah. So Edmonton Oilers, Jets, game sucked if you're an Oilers fan. And,
Yeah.
But Rogers Place, great place.
Jets sure don't look like they're missing Mark Scheifele, and
no.
and that is like that speaks to the depth I think they have.
Oh, they have not had any trouble up front. Mrs. Dangle has Blake Wheeler in her pool, and he has been excellent.
He sure has.
I've been to a few games that like were not Leaf games, and the home team got stomped. That's an awkward experience, right?
Yeah.
Because like everyone around you is, you're not mad, but everyone else around you is.
Yeah, but
know?
I make it a point to wherever I go, I'm going to cheer for the home team. Like I was in Vancouver, I don't like the Canucks, but that night I'm a Canucks fan. You know, you're in their city.
Well, even in Montreal, we did.
Yeah,
right.
We
had Leafs jerseys
that
on.
Game every time they scored a goal, I got up and did the goal
That was
song.
insane.
It was so much fun.
That was insane. That's the craziest regular season game I've ever seen.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
You don't want to see the home team get stomped and then they start booing.
Yeah.
And then they did fireworks inside the arena after the game. They're like, wait around for the next 10 minutes. We're gonna do fireworks for New Year's. Yeah. So they had a little light display.
So the Leafs and
Should have
Oilers.
just been a fart sound.
Yeah.
3, 2,
Leafs and
1.
Oilers had bummer games to end 2017.
Yeah.
It really. And I saw that. I don't know, Jesse. Did you see the Golden Knights Leafs game?
I have parts of it.
It was.
I saw us getting destroyed, and then I kind of stopped it.
It was getting destroyed and then not so destroyed. And it's funny because it's and I guess we should just get into it because, the last week has been very, very interesting. They win against the Coyotes, which they should. They don't win against Colorado Avalanche, which they should on a very debatable call, and we can talk about that in
Second half
overtime.
Back-to-back.
Yeah.
They get a point.
And Calvin Pickard was good. And then Freddie looks fragile, and the team, which I think has looked fragile since the end of October, really showed itself in the first period. There's a fragility to this Leafs team right now. And I don't know if it's growth, if it's maturation process, if it's mental, whatever it is, you're pointing to your head. I don't know what's going on. But yesterday it seemed like there was just like I know you're missing Nikita Zaitsev. They're already thin on defense. And then you have to have Martin Marincin in there who...
That was a bad game. He had a bad game. He was bad. It's funny, a couple of people got on me. They were like, well, when he was called up, you didn't have a problem with it. I'm like, no, I didn't have a problem with 8th defenseman
Martin Marincin.
While a penalty killer is out, Martin Marincin. And his first game was pretty good. And what are you going to do? Defend his game against
pretty
Vegas?
good or quiet?
Quiet is good for Martin Marincin. It's funny, like whenever a player is drafted, you almost always hear the same thing, especially for like Canadian major junior players. Like, well, they're great with the puck, but they really need to start learning how to play without it. I've never seen a player that is more the opposite.
You just don't want him to touch the puck.
When he doesn't have the puck, he's great. He's fine. Like, he prevents zone entries. He's got those... His limbs are so strange, and his stick, and he can just flick at people, and he's disruptive, and then the second the puck gets on his stick, you're like, oh, no, we're about to have a bad day. And then twice in this game we did. At least twice.
And then they pair him with Jake Gardner.
Oh. But then they realized that pairing wasn't working, so they put him with Roman Polak. So you know what? Travis Yost wrote something recently about, I think the Leafs can contend with their current decor.
Nope.
I think the issue might be personnel, man. I think the issue might be personnel. It's funny. Like, I watched the Leafs against Colorado and was like, well, it wasn't their worst game. Second half of a back-to-back, whatever. I watched them against Vegas. I'm like, this is a team that is, like, defeating itself on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even...
They're better than that.
Yeah, it's part of the reason that
And listen,
I'm not worried about them. I feel like it's... If they just decide to be, they can be one of the top 5 teams in the league.
But you have to decide to be. So when does that decision come?
Great question, Adam.
Because here's the
question. They figured it out last year.
Am I right in saying this or not? The Leafs are not a Stanley Cup contender yet. They're not a shoe-in Stanley Cup contender yet.
Totally.
I would not put them in the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nashville,
Vegas Golden Knights.
who are on an unbelievable tear. And you know what? We shouldn't take any credit away from that team. They're fast. They're fun. Their fans are insane. It's so great to see. New Year's Eve. And by the way, they're whooping the butts of one of the most storied franchises in the league, which is supposed to be a way better team. How can they not be jacked about that? Right? It's awesome for them, but I just feel like with the Leafs, I feel you seem to be not worried. I am worried. I think on defense, they are thin, even with Zaitsev in the lineup. And I think the biggest problem that we have right now is that there's no trading in the middle of the season. So they are going to have to stick this out.
I don't know about that. No, they can figure it out. There's teams that are unhappy. There's teams that are fidgety. the Leafs don't strike me as one of those teams, but if they decided to have some talks with Pittsburgh's fidgety, they want to make a big move. The Oilers need speed.
Defense too. They need
They
defense.
need speed. They need defense. They need penalty killing. A move could be made there. One move I brought up recently, I brought up in my last video that I would like to see the Leafs explore is Alex Petrovic of the Panthers. Big defender, right-handed shot. His fancies are okay. Pretty good-ish.
Okay would be good.
For like a depth right-handed defender. Like he probably fits the team a little better than Connor Carrick. I feel bad. The guy, I don't know. One thing with the Leafs is you're never confused as to where the team stands on certain players.
Well,
it's not going to work for Carrick here.
I don't think so either.
Here.
But you know what? I don't think he's played particularly great either.
Nope.
I mean, like that's to be. I think Connor Carrick has the skills for sure, but that's a guy that I might think. Like it was. I was reading an article on Sportsnet today about Riley Sheehan, and he just when the trade to Pittsburgh and the change of scenery. Sometimes that it's just what you need. The system doesn't work for you or whatever. And there are players that are like that. I would hate to see Connor Carrick go because I believe A, that he's a good guy, B, that he's got the skill set, and C, if they could just work with him a little longer, he'll get it. I feel like he's going to get it. But it's a tough growth thing for him right now.
I also,
I
don't feel like sitting him helps. Like, okay, like what the Leafs have been doing something interesting this season with Martin Jerkhouse. So they basically just didn't have him playing hockey games.
Right.
For like a couple months or something. They just had him working on skills. And then they finally let him play some games in the ECHL. Was great. Called him up to the Marlies, played a couple games, and I think they just sent him back down. Carrick, I don't think is a lack of skills at all or fitness or any of that. It's decision making. That's the Leafs' biggest issue in their own end is decision making. I don't think it's a lack of skill. When I see Matt Martin in certain situations, and he is having a good season, I see a player who wishes he could do something else. You know what I mean? I think there's a smart player trapped in a fourth liner's body. And you just see him sometimes.
So you're saying he's got a good hockey sense?
I think he's got good hockey sense.
Or relative to his position, good hockey sense?
Yes, and I think when his hockey playing career is done, there might be a good coaching career for a guy like
Might be a
Matt
good broadcasting career for that guy.
Might be a good broadcasting career.
I think he'd be a fantastic broadcaster.
You never know. I don't think that's the issue with Carrick. I don't think that's the issue with so many Leafs. It's not skill. It's just decision-making between the ears.
Well, and so, very clearly, and I think it was Jeff Fayette that had this gif, but which goal was it?
Was it the fifth one?
I forget which one it was, but Roman Polak got absolutely torched.
Fifth one, I think.
Torched.
But it wasn't just him. Like, he got torched, but all five Leafs were puck watching.
Because it was a 2-on-1 against Borgman.
Maybe
So
we're not talking about
it was
the same
Polak
goal.
and Borgman when they were still on the same pairing. Because Borgman still looks good to me. But what I saw was
he even looked bad on one of those goals. But generally speaking,
yeah. But you've got Polak, who is neck and neck with William Karlsson, I believe it was, and William Karlsson just flies by him.
Well, that's a lack of skill.
Is it a lack of skill, or is it just he doesn't lack of skill, lack of speed? But why have that? You got to have a guy who's skating. He's not skating backwards. William Karlsson might be a fast NHL player. Is that what it is? That's not the one.
Leo Komarov's minutes.
That's not the one.
To have Leo Komarov's minutes.
No, it's not the one.
That's the goal I'm talking about. Yeah. All five Leafs are watching the puck carrier. They're watching Shea Theodore take it in the zone.
Borgman.
It's Marlo Komarov and Brown. That was the Leafs shutdown line that game.
But look at where Polak is standing.
No, I know.
He's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. But my point is no one looked good in that goal. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, there's no way. You shouldn't have to tell an NHL team all five of you shouldn't be looking at the same guy. Like, I don't know. I was just watching that goal and it wasn't even I don't know. I feel like I can yell and scream about one player making a bad choice, but it's just a knee slapper to me when it's the entire freaking team. Which goal is this?
William Karlsson's second?
No, that's Martin Marinson.
Yeah, that's
banking the puck
that's
off
not the
ref.
one, but that's not
Who
the
he's
one
staring
either.
at.
Jesse, the one I'm looking for is an end-to-end. So it starts in the Vegas defensive zone, and Polak comes across, and Borgman is skating backwards, and you can see them.
Oh, maybe the second goal.
It might have been the second goal.
I think it was the second goal.
I think I got it. This one?
We should throw this up in the video and give Jeff some credit here.
The end of this one?
Also, so people know what the hell we're talking about. No, I think it might have been the...
No?
I don't know.
Damn it.
Fine.
There were so many goals.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so many goals against. You know, and the thing is that somebody did a comparable, and I
This is
looked
so
at.
exciting.
I believe it was on the Athletic, and it was about where the Leafs were last year. They had less wins, but their Corsi was 2 points better. And their goals against and goals for, there wasn't a huge differential. I think there's 16 plus on their goal differential this year. They were 10 plus last year. The point is, it's not that they're not doing well, because they are, but we know that they're capable of more. And I think that's where my concern is that when does this, and I know that we're 40 games into the season, but come on, let's put this together. And I think they've got to realize that there's a real, I mean, I'm sure they know this, they're not dumb. There's a real lack there on the back end. And I know Travis Dermott was injured, but that's a guy I look at and go, him and Timothy Liljegren are absolutely tearing it up in the AHL right now. They're doing great. And Tim Liljegren was, I believe, named
He's at the World Juniors, yeah.
He is at the World Juniors and was named player of the round or player of the game or something like that.
Might
Like
have. Dahlin, holy shit.
yeah, Rasmus Dahlin looks amazing.
Holy shit.
But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's stay off Dahlin for a second. There are defensemen in the minors that they could give a shot to, and I know people are like, well, Timothy Liljegren's 18, but you shelter that guy. Put him on the third pairing. What's wrong with an 18? Who cares that he's 18? Is he good enough? For
That
a
is a
couple
good
games.
point. Like
Austin
I don't know,
Matthews
is
was
the
18,
Leafs-
19.
Is the Leafs' defensive situation so dire that it's worth taking a look at Dermott or Liljegren?
But
See, 'cause
what about Dermott, though? He's 20. Why not take a look at him?
they want to be patient with him.
Mm-hmm.
The word on him is they want to be patient with him and make sure he's a real all-around defender. Like, for example, a guy who they did a really good job developing, and it's not talked about enough, I don't think, is Connor Brown.
Oh, yeah.
He comes in and he scored goals and got points, which he could always do. Had him on the power play, he could always do that. He kills penalties, and they developed him that way. Like when it's funny, people yell and scream about, why not use a skilled player on the penalty kill, like a Nazem Kadri, which we yelled and screamed about for a while, and the Leafs missed him. But Connor Brown is that guy. Connor Brown's definitely that guy. So I think they want to make Dermott an all-around player. If they can create a 20-ish point defenseman out of him who's usable on the power play and effective on the penalty kill, that's exactly what the Leafs need. The Leafs, I don't think, need a superstar on the back end. They don't need a Drew
They need a
Doughty.
top four. They need a top four.
They need 3 competent pairings is what they need. They have an offense that maybe 5 teams in the whole league can really challenge when it's healthy. 3 competent defense pairings. They got 1. Let's work on 2. Mm-hmm. It's sometimes 2. They got 1.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need 1 guy. So is Dermott already that guy?
I mean, they
Been
haven't
hurt at times this season.
Is it time to move JVR for a defense?
No.
No, I think
No.
he's one of the bright spots. 17 goals.
But then
Someone
you trade
chirp
him when
me.
his value's highest.
No,
I mean,
you're right. But someone
And
was
he's not
chirping
going to
me.
re-sign him. You might as well let him go.
Someone was
I
chirping
keep-
me because we
let him
don't
go.
have an answer on JVR by Christmas, which is what I said we
you
would
did
have.
say that, yeah.
But nobody on the Leafs and very few players in the league can do what JVR does in front. He's a monster. Like, there's a reason he has 17 goals. Right?
And it'll be great when he's doing that for St. Louis next year. When they sign him in free agency.
Yeah, and they get knocked out in the second round.
As long as he's in the Western Conference.
How doesn't St. Louis have a cup? It's insane. They're always good. And the second you said JVR to St. Louis, I'm like, probably.
Yeah. Him and
Probably.
Tarasenko just tearing it up.
Oh,
That would be disgusting.
and they get knocked out by like Minnesota or something. Like it's,
Bruce Boudreau
I don't-
finally has a good playoff run.
Oh, and then they get knocked out in the third round.
Of
In
course.
the 7th game.
By Chicago.
In the 7th game, yeah.
By Chicago. Has to be Chicago. I kind of think like, okay, it's frustrating now. Now it's frustrating to watch, and I'm sure it's frustrating for the team. And people keep bringing up Ian Cole's name. No, Fucking Ian Cole? Come on.
No.
Ian Cole is a 6'7". Is he not? 5, 6, 7?
He was good in last year's playoffs. I mean, Ian Cole, I think, is closer to the answer than Chris Tanev. You know what I mean? Because
the price
I don't
you gotta-
think they need to break the bank. I don't think they need to make a
what
giant
I keep seeing
splash.
on Leafs Twitter is people going, well, you'll have to trade Nylander or Marner. No, you fucking won't.
No.
No. And you won't. They won't.
What do you need? What do you need to get Alex Petrovic? What do you need?
I don't know. What do you need, Steve?
Can't be much. Can't be much. Like, okay, I look at the Boyle trade last year. So
Second rounder?
Yeah. So, Reimer right now is single-handedly forcing the Florida Panthers back into the playoff picture.
Yes. Even though he's still looking for goaltending help.
It's weird how Reimer's doing that thing that he does almost every single season. It's weird how he was playing poorly and now he's good. It's like we've never seen him do that before. You non-believers.
It'd be a lot better if he could just play good.
You know what? It'd be better if everyone could do that. It'd be better if everyone can do that. But
Some players
could
do that.
yeah, look at Carey Price's consistent season that he's having. And Freddie's.
I think the comparison of James Reimer and Carey Price is very accurate. They are the exact same player.
They are, for sure.
Price isn't quite there yet. But he's almost there. He's approaching.
Think he'll grow into it?
He might grow into if he matures, if he earns it. As I put on my Eugene Melnick voice, if he earns it. Yeah. So let's say the Panthers don't make it. I mean, I think they're 9 points out right now.
He's only played 27 games this year. He's a right shot from Edmonton, Alberta. Second round pick.
No, never
My
mind.
favorite place
never
on
mind.
earth.
Never mind. No, what has he got? What has he got in terms of points?
4 assists.
And that's it.
That's it.
All right.
But I mean, you're not looking for a point. You don't need a point getter.
No.
Like Morgan Riley already has more points.
Consistent penalty killer was not Roman Polak. Like, I don't know.
Myrtle had a little stat about,
Oh, shut up.
about the
Sorry,
Leafs
I'm
being
kidding.
outshot in the month of December.
Ooh.
It was 420 to 376.
Eee.
Not good.
They're at an 82-point pace in their last 13 games.
Okay, well, all right.
Most of which were without Austin Matthews. 3 of which were without Nazem Kadri. How many without Zaitsev? Like, those are all pretty major names to the Leafs lineup. I'm not worried, man.
There are also 3 back-to-backs in this month. So
3 back-to-backs. Almost all of them are on the road.
yeah, 8 of 9 games on the road. Yeah,
I'm not worried.
I don't think it's that bad.
I'm really not worried.
Yeah.
They're on the
good.
season. They're on a 98.
Sorry, but
pace.
everybody has points of the season like that. You can look at any team, unless they are, the Tampa Bay Lightning this year, and they had a rough patch between this week and this week. That's not abnormal.
You know what's been really fun watching on hockey Twitter is Pittsburgh Penguins fans who are they're catatonic. Like, they're just...
We might not make the playoffs in the tops of our division.
Freaking out. They're freaking out.
Yeah.
Look, I get it that your team is built to win now. So if you're going to make a move, you might as well do that. But you are literally back-to-back champs.
Yeah.
You haven't not been champs since 2015. Just be happy.
Yeah,
you should just wake up every morning and go, I'm so happy. This is so great.
I've lived and seen my team win a cup 3 times. Maybe if you're our age, it's 5.
5.
That's more than the
nuts.
freaking Steelers have won in the last 25 years.
3 since 2009.
You're doing okay, Pittsburgh. You'll be all right.
Or,
be
well,
all
I guess
right.
3 starting in 2009.
Okay, question. Since we brought up Pittsburgh,
Sure.
interesting that they have. Again, their goal differential just sucks, and at this point, it's not just
Antoniemi.
it cannot
No?
just be the Antoniemi.
What is it now?
111 to 128. 111 goals for, 128 goals against.
Minus 17.
That is not Antoniemi, man.
No.
That's more than that.
Well, Murray's been out.
Sure.
Niemi sucked.
Yeah. So that's part of the problem is if Matt Murray's not playing, then you get a different team. But Kris Letang's name has come up. And we heard that Pittsburgh wanted to trade him, and then the Athletic reported that he didn't. That they have they do not want to trade him.
That is not noise, by the way. That is not noise. Well, I saw a few people like, rumors. That is Nick Kyprios saying that on Hockey Night in Canada. That's a legitimate rumor. That is Nick Kyprios with Elliot Friedman sitting beside him. if he's not your flavor. That shit's real. I'm interested.
Now, how do you move a guy with 4 years and $7.25 million who has had a stroke, multiple concussion problems, among other injuries? And listen, that is not to diminish Kris Letang, the player, because he is phenomenal.
It's like our Carey Price discussion from earlier in the season. Like, of course it's Carey Price. And of course he's excellent when he's healthy. But you're asking me to make a huge commitment to a guy who, as good as he is, has a ton of question marks.
You also can't trade him now because he's on the IR.
Right.
Who is this? Letang?
Letang.
Oh,
Back
right.
on the IR
Yeah.
again?
Oh, I mean, he won't be there forever.
Yeah, fair. But
That's what Pittsburgh fans keep saying.
yeah,
Poor guy.
as long as he's
always on it.
He can't be there forever. Maybe. Maybe he
Don't
could.
tempt fate with that one. Yeah.
So Joffrey Lupul's coming back.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's ready, Jesse.
Can I ask another Pittsburgh question?
We haven't answered the first one, but sure. As long as it adds to the
Okay,
first
we'll
one.
get to it.
All right. Okay.
Who is on Pittsburgh's training staff, and have they been fired at some point over the past few years?
I mean,
they're always like this. Every single year, they're playing with half of Wilkes-Barre at any given moment.
well, I mean, you can't really prevent strokes
No.
and concussions
no. But
and knees.
it's crazy. You can maybe prevent a knee.
I think there's a.
Do they just have Carlo Koliakovo syndrome where, like, well,
Possible.
I blocked a shot. I'm sorry.
There is that theory out there that some bodies physically are built different than other bodies, which I fully agree with, by the way. If you ever stood next to an NHLer, I physically know that there would have been no genetic shot. There's no genetic shot in hell.
You didn't try hard.
I also stunk.
There was a...
But that's the point, right?
I want to say there was an article written years and years ago about Nick Antropov, because remember, he would frequently get hurt even as a young player. And there was something about growing up in Kazakhstan, he probably didn't get the proper nutrition to have strong enough bones.
Get the hell out. Wow.
This would have been like 15 years ago. I have no idea where
I
to
wonder
find
if
this,
that
but
was
I swear
actually
to God it
verified too. Like, I wonder if that was just a theory that was thrown out there, because back in the day in newspapers, you used to be able to just do that as sports guys. Because nobody really checked them. Like, it's like now if you do that, like the hot dog story, for instance,
I was about to bring that up.
that would have gone unchecked, I think.
Yeah.
Kazakhstan, milk? Question mark? That would have been a great headline.
Well, you remember that there was an article written about Jose Bautista. He had this explosion of home runs.
Gotta ask the question.
Has to be steroids, right?
ask.
That was an article written in a Toronto newspaper. Well, no, it doesn't have to be steroids. He might have just figured it out.
Boo, Andy Testerberger. Or does she? Sorry.
Anyway,
South
sorry.
Park.
So
what was the first question?
Well, it was Letang, and then you were going to ask a question about. Well, you asked a question about how do you make a move?
Oh,
Mid-season with a guy like that. Do they make a move mid-season? Is that even possible?
So
it's possible.
the Leafs get Letang.
They have to.
That's not happening.
So if the Leafs got Letang, first off, Pittsburgh has to take the rest of Kessel's salary. Forever and ever, amen. Because we're still paying, what is it, $1.2 million?
1.2.
Yeah, they have to just take that.
Nope. Yeah.
Okay. And actually, you
Gone.
can retain, on top of giving us Kessel thing back, you can retain 1.2 on Letang. Then we'll talk.
We're getting a half price Kris Letang.
We're saving $2 million.
What is half price Kris Letang?
Not half
cost?
price. It's a. I'm just merely asking that 10% of his salary be retained. by
That's
Pittsburgh.
not an unreasonable request at all.
I don't think
else
so.
goes with that money?
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't.
Kapanen back.
You're not Kapanen.
It's just an undoing of the Kessel trade.
We'll sign Scott Harrington, and then we will
bring him
trade him back.
You get Nick Spaulding back from Europe. No, you have to take Nick Spaulding.
You're going to Pittsburgh, Nick.
What? I'm not even on under.
Sorry, Nick. I hope
They just put like a burlap sack over his head. No, you're coming back
He's
to
like
Pittsburgh.
skiing in the Alps, and they kidnap him, bring him back to
No, I'm
Pittsburgh.
gonna be in the Olympics. They're like, no, can't. Sorry.
I mean, that's like the thing is that again, and I say this in crossing my own point from earlier, which is if we are patient, the Toronto Maple Leafs have a pretty good farm system, and you might not have Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and Mitch Marner down there right now, but that's because they're good enough to make the big team. You've got other guys. It's funny. I read a tweet this summer from somebody going, the Leafs The Leafs farm system is a tire fire. They have no superstars. And someone tweeted them back and went, well, yeah, they're all playing for the team.
Yeah.
So
There's still
they've got
a crazy amount of under 22-year-olds.
if
Is
you
Marner
wait-
still eligible for the World Juniors?
He might be. Matthews is, isn't he?
I think Matthews
20.
is. I think this
Marner
is
might be too old.
Marner's first season of not being eligible.
Okay, so they're still kind of prospects.
Yeah. yeah, there's some prospects. I think of it, I look at it and I go, okay, all right, so, you're taking a huge gamble with a guy like Letang when you've got 3 massive free agents coming up, Bozak, JVR, and Komarov. And to me, right now, the only guy really worth pursuing in the re-signing thing is JVR.
Bozak's pretty ho-hum.
Yeah.
He hasn't been particularly bad, but
Not particularly great either. And unless you can get him, if you got Bozak back at $2 million, I'm fine with that. But I don't think you're going to get him back at $2 million. No. And the other thing is that Komarov's not been Komarov. So
is it the visor? Is it the freaking visor?
I don't think it's the visor.
No.
But anyway,
He's not this bad.
Yeah.
or maybe he's just
No,
having
he's
he
not.
could just be having a bad stretch. Maybe he turns it on.
Long bad stretch.
I also think eventually players' skills diminish, and he might just hit that point in his life.
Boy, pretty sharp.
That's usually
I don't
what
know.
happens.
Yeah, like I assume he'll have a better stretch in this season, but overall his average play is probably just dropped to a little tier less.
Maybe.
I know. So here's my thing with Letang. When you move a guy like that, it's going to be a big return the other way. It's going to be huge. Is it worth it for a team? First off, I don't think the Leafs will do it.
I don't know if it's worth it for Pittsburgh because I feel like you're not going to get that huge return.
What do
and
they
you
even
are going
need?
to have to retain
What does Pittsburgh need? And what can they afford?
health.
They need health.
And by trading away Letang, I suppose you get that by default.
Because to me,
I don't know.
I look at Pittsburgh and go, what they need is the ability to maneuver, and what they don't have because of all the salary cap troubles that they're going to have. Kessel, Malkin, Sidney Crosby, Letang, Carl Hagelin, guys like that. Carl Hagelin's kind of fallen off a little bit too. He's not the player he was, maybe, or maybe he's just exhausted because he's played so much, the Olympics and all the playoff
They're
games.
not as
and
deep. Losing Nick Bonino was bad.
It sucks, yeah.
Like we said, a lot of teams have 2 centers. Very few have 3.
Right.
And they lost their... I mean, Sheahan's not Bonino.
No. So I just wonder with Letang, how does that deal happen? Does it make sense right now? And then what?
It's not, and it's not the Leafs. The one that I think makes a little too much sense to be true, there's got to be something for Kris Letang for Max Pacioretty.
Oh my God.
Dude,
no way.
wait.
No.
Hear me out.
I don't hear this.
Hear me out.
All right.
Desperate Mark Bergevin, GM of the Montreal Canadiens, trades cold, unpopular American captain
Why is he unpopular?
for all-star Stanley Cup winning francophone defenseman. It's too good. It's too damn perfect. It's right there.
So the 3 of us will be playing center for the Canadiens?
No, yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like, if you're the Habs, like, I don't know, you suck up front anyway. You suck up front anyway. And it's,
Double
and
down.
it's not like Pacioretty's been good.
No, he hasn't.
Although oh my God, is he going to just ruin worlds with whatever team he goes to?
Well, that's the thing.
Oh,
Why?
Pacioretty on the Penguins.
Oh my
For
God.
the love of God, stop it.
That's a 40-goal score.
Stop
Come
it
on.
right now. How dare you even think about it? Pacioretty to the Oilers. How dare you?
Oh, man.
For shame. But it's not going to happen in Montreal. If you at very least have defense in front of Carey Price, you can do anything you set your heart to. You still have Brendan Gallagher.
But they need to score goals.
Yeah, they do.
They need another center.
Pacioretty hasn't done it. And they don't think that the guy who is pretty much money in the bank for 30 goals and 60 points, for whatever reason, is going to get his game back. This guy who hasn't failed, he's never failed to reach 50 points or a 50-point pace since his third season in the league.
Now, to be fair here,
God.
His first 2 seasons, he didn't hit it. And then I think his third season, he did, and he hasn't missed it since.
he's scored 8
He's on
goals.
pace to miss it this year.
You are correct.
He has scored 8 goals this year. Kris Letang has 2. So, I mean, he's got something like, what is it?
Like, that's unbelievable. Letang has 25 points. This slumping bum of a defenseman.
I feel like the view on Kris Letang would change significantly if he came. Like if he came to Toronto, and we all of a sudden had a guy with 25. Because Morgan Riley's having an outstanding season. He's already passed he's tied his points from out last year. 40 games in, and he's got 28 points, which is pretty good. Imagine a second guy like that.
I think a trade would be really, really good for Max Pacioretty, the player. Right? Forget the Habs and the Penguins. I think it'd be fantastic for Pacioretty, the player. I don't think a change of scenery would be good for Letang because no matter where he goes, the expectations will be too high. Like,
Okay.
when a player gets to the age and the wear and tear of a Kris Letang, their name follows them wherever they go, but their skills don't necessarily.
Yeah.
But then again, 25 points in 37 games.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
That
Kind of reminds me of
ridiculous.
a guy named Shea Weber. His skills probably didn't travel with him.
He's their best defenseman by far. By far.
And a lot of their struggles have to do with he hasn't been fully healthy this year. He played hurt for a long time.
Yeah.
Hey,
But imagine a healthy Shea Weber, a healthy Kris Letang. You get Victor Mete back from the World Juniors. There's 3 guys you need, like who I think
And
they
they
still
got
have
Jeff
Jeff Petrie.
Yeah.
And then really you just need to find 2 competent bums for the left.
Let him go.
There's a very competent bum.
he's a right-handed.
No, I think he's
No,
left.
he's left.
Is he?
Yeah, they got him
okay.
on Cap Friendly as left.
Petrie's right.
Petrie's
And
right.
then Jordy Ben on the left.
You know,
fine.
that's
Not bad.
not a terrible core.
It's not.
In front of Carey Price, and then up front, you figure it out.
And they're all locked down to the lockout year, so
Yeah, you'll
You're good.
Drouin is better than this. Lehkonen, you've been missing him for a lot of the season. Deneau is having a good season. You got Gallagher.
if Pacioretty gets traded for Letang, does Edmonton go on strike?
No, because they're going to get Dahlin. That's how this works. That's how this works.
Oh my God.
And then we cancel the league. And it's going to be a shame because Vegas is going to be poised to win the Stanley Cup, but they hold the draft lottery before the Stanley Cup final. And so right before they get to make their Disney movie, we have to cancel the whole season because the NHL's canceled.
3 teams in the running for him that really, their whole franchise plan would change if they got him. Arizona, because you'd be able to hang on to Oliver Ekman-Larsson probably.
Maybe.
Edmonton, which needs him, and Edmonton's having a bad year. I think Edmonton's a playoff team at least. So if they get him, and next year they'll just explode. It'll be like Tampa Bay last year, right?
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah.
To an extent. I mean, I don't think they've got Draisaitl and McDavid, but I don't know if they've got the Kucherov Stamkos thing for McDavid yet.
The Habs, the year they finished third last for some stupid reason and got Galchenyuk. Like they were never that bad.
No, they just
And
haven't
then
had
they
a
came
bad
back
year.
the next year and whoa,
And then you've got Buffalo,
who stinks.
who stinks. But you put Rasmus Ristolainen in there, and you trade a couple of those guys.
I think you trade Rasmus for Soren.
I don't know if you trade the best defenseman they have. Yeah, but he's on a terrible team. He's a top 4D in this league. You keep him.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't concern myself with Buffalo.
how?
Next. I'm kidding.
I just 2 questions before we wrap this up. First question is this: do the Leafs make an in-season trade this year?
Yep.
Because we got 2 months to the trade deadline. You think so?
Yep.
Do you think it'll be for a defenseman?
Yep.
Okay. Do you think it'll be for a top 4 defenseman, or will it make them just competent?
Competent.
Okay, so it's not going to be a big trade.
I keep going back to Petrovic, and I say that to say Petrovic-ish, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Maybe a green.
Not Tanev level, Petrovic level.
No, Tana's too damn much.
Yeah. And then the second thing is, does Kris Letang get traded in season?
Ooh.
And you know,
That
Jim
really
Rutherford's
strikes-
going to make a move, but
I think he's gonna. Elliot Friedman says Jim Rutherford wants to make a big splash. It's Jim Rutherford.
man, Pacioretty would be sick.
He's on a team.
God.
He's on a team with an hourglass, right? Mm-hmm. Their time is running out, although they've done a lot with that time, but their time is running out. Fried says they're looking to make a splash. I think a splash comes. Pacioretty, they made it sound like that could be a summer thing. But
I have a question.
yes.
How likely is it that we trade one of our goaltenders for defensive help? Because we do have a surplus there.
Yeah, it's tough. The Leafs are in a very weird position because we're fans. We're impatient. Like, we have some. Like, it's funny before the Leafs.
I mean, we when the Peter Horacek rebuild started.
Yeah,
I mean, that was patience waiting through that half of the season and then the entire next season.
it was. But patience doesn't come when the team is bad. Patience comes when there's hope.
Yeah, you're right.
Last year, I was so much more anxious watching each and every Leafs game than I was at any point before it, since 2004.
Save for the lockout year.
So, yeah. The Leafs, they're still young and they're still rebuilding.
They are still rebuilding.
You should hold on to the depth you have because I think you're just going to improve naturally.
So maybe I should shut up about the defense and just be like, okay, that's what it is right now, and they're going to develop it and we'll get better.
But it's so hard to not be like, dude, you have Sparks and Pickard. That's crazy.
But if you flip Sparks and Kapanen, you can get like a decent D.
Can you? I don't know.
I would imagine.
I don't know what the
I
trade
don't like
market
the
is.
idea of trading Kapanen. I don't like the idea
No,
of
I
trading
think he's a guy that steps in next year, and I think he's a big part of the club.
Yeah,
I think him
I
and
agree.
Sash are both big parts of the Leafs next year.
I think Sasha's gone.
You think Sasha's gone?
I think when we're talking about parts that get dealt, the Leafs will look to move Sasha, I think.
He probably wants to go anyway.
I think he does. I think he wants to play. He wants to play.
I don't blame him.
Is he still hurt?
I don't know.
What's the deal with him?
I don't know.
Such a mystery.
It is kind of funny that Pickard, by the way, was called up. Like Curtis McElhinney just happened to have an injury the day they're playing Colorado.
Yeah,
What's up with
McElhinney
that?
had supposedly been hurt for a while. Pickard was on a plane to Colorado the night before he was officially called up. I don't know. It's a
What do
little.
you think that was?
I don't know.
Like, what if I mean, it is fishy, but what does that mean? Is it like they're doing that because he's played so well in the AHL? They want to reward him by playing him against his old team.
Maybe the only.
See what they have, because they can send him back down as much as they want, right?
I believe that McElhinney was hurt, and Pickard got the call ahead of Sparks because Sparks was just coming off an injury. And I said it could have been nickel and diming because remember Pickard is on a one-way NHL deal, but
But he cleared waivers, right?
he cleared waivers, and he makes $1 million, so it's all buried. So I don't know. I think it was just maybe McElhinney was a little banged up. They saw an opportunity, and they gave Pickard the start because it's not like they threw him in there under the best circumstances.
No.
They flew him in the night before the game, didn't tell him he was starting till the day of the game, he says.
And he was pretty good.
It was all right. Like, he made a couple really simple mistakes that I expect him to fix pretty quickly. Like, he just seemed nervous. The one where the rebound got away from him, and I mean, it's Nathan friggin' McKinnon. He's unbelievable. And then there was another one. It was the third goal where he just got, way too excited and overcommitted. I think he's a better goalie than that. Calvin Pickard at his best.
What did you guys think of the Nate McKinnon, Connor Brown mix-up in overtime that led to the goal? Is that a penalty?
Not in my opinion, no. But that was a mature moment for me because I was like, I get it.
I think it's coincidental minors. I think they're both at fault there.
I think you could argue Brown impeded McKinnon
But you can't argue that McKinnon didn't impede Brown.
or dove.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the best
But
skaters
he also
in the
stuck
league.
his arm out.
He hauled Brown down. He hauled him down.
So that's coincidental minors is what that is.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter that Connor Brown switched his skating and maybe got in his way a little bit. The fact that Nathan McKinnon responded and did something in kind, to
It's
me,
funny.
is coincidental.
There is not coincidental, situational officiating. And Babcock said it a few games ago when the Leafs got put down 5-on-3. You know, you got to be sure when you're putting that second guy in. You got to be sure making that call. There's been a few occurrences recently where the Leafs were put down 5-3, and this one in overtime where, man, those are all situations where you better be sure. And I don't think you can be sure with that call. I'm not outraged over it because I can see how in the speed of the moment
Sure,
you
and
would
it's
make
very
that call.
fast, yep.
I can totally see it. But I think it was the wrong call. I can remain calm about it and still think it was the wrong call, which is rare for me.
Jesse, thoughts?
I've been looking for this. The slow-mo replay of who grabbed who.
You should watch the real time, though. It's so fast.
It's almost impossible to see.
Okay, we're watching it. We're watching it. For one, McKinnon throws it up to himself, which is frustrating.
Oh, man. Yeah, come on.
McKinnon gets his arm in front of Brown. Yeah, it's the wrong call.
It's the wrong call. So I think I was upset about it, and I have every right to be because they actually didn't get it right.
And especially because it's
That's how I
overtime.
look
It's a
at
bad call. It's a bad call.
Thank you.
But speed of the
The
game,
wrong call.
And again,
Wrong call.
And I keep saying this: if you're gonna have humans ref the game, then you're gonna have human error, and I understand.
No,
That's my thing. If you're gonna have humans, unless you want computers to ref the game,
but they should.
humans will have. Okay, fair enough. But as long as they have humans reffing the game, there will be human error. This is one of those times.
I know the question to the answer I'm about to ask, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
Do you know the answer to the question or the question to the answer?
You didn't say that
Wait,
right.
did I? What did I say?
I know the question to the answer.
Did I say that? Sorry.
Ask your answer, Steven.
It's like
this is
what
Jeopardy.
It's like an answer full of questions.
No, now you must ask your question in the form of an answer. Because it would be a lot funnier.
This is going to be really fucking complicated.
Turn that brain of yours.
Well, I suppose it would just be yes or no.
I don't.
Because now you don't know what the question is.
Oh, just fucking say it. This is really frustrating to listen to. I'm sorry for anybody that's listening
Should
to
you
this.
be able to challenge penalty calls in overtime?
No.
I think you're right. But
No.
this is a situation
Man.
where that might have been nice.
Freaking Gerard Gallant challenging the third goal from the Leafs yesterday.
That was the right move.
Give me a
That was the right move.
Is
Yeah.
crap. I'm so bored of these stupid fucking challenges, man. Oh my god.
No, you know what? He has the lead. He probably wasn't going to use that timeout anyway. Leafs got a late goal in the second, and they begin the third with another huge momentum, adrenaline shot across the bench goal.
And Matthews almost gets his third later on,
Exactly.
and almost ties the game.
So he tried to. I think he tried to kill the momentum.
Okay, I'm gonna put a
Get a fresh
hypothetical
start on the period.
to you guys while we switch gears here, and I want you to tell me what you would think. And I want to, if you're on our Reddit page, if you're on Twitter, but I like our Reddit page because everybody can get together and talk about this. So
And I write on there sometimes.
yeah, for sure, we all kind of read it and stuff like that.
Someone was mad about something recently, and I went, whoa, and I answered their question.
Cool. Yeah, often people are mad on Reddit, but here's what I would want everybody to. Okay, so I want you to take it. I want you to put yourself in the position of an NHL player.
Oh, I'm so rich.
And you're a highly skilled NHL player. You are not making league minimum.
So cool having these.
You are not making league minimum. You are a big time, big money NHL player.
Oh,
And it doesn't really matter what country you're from. You're an absolute superstar and a lock to make your country's Olympic.
Can I be from Belarus?
You can be from Belarus. Yes. If Belarus qualified for the
Mikhail.
Olympics, you have to be going. So if Belarus did get into the Olympics, which they normally do, then yes, you can be Belarusian.
This
sir.
is an Olympic question.
It has to be yes. This
I
has
thought
to
this was an NHL question.
Well, it is.
See where he's going? Yeah.
If you're one of those players, are you not calling your friends going, I think I'm going to be sick around the All-Star break?
is there an All-Star game this year?
There is an All-Star game.
Tampa Bay,
this year.
Florida.
Now, according to our good friend Elliot Friedman, who would not write this down lightly,
Oh, is this what I think it is?
there was a bit of, as he put it, saber rattling about some of the top NHL players who were supposed to go to the Olympics this year being pissed off about it still, rightly so, we all are. Saying, you know what? I'm not going to go to the All-Star game.
And they'll get suspended for a game.
And I don't think they care.
That's what happened to Pavel Datsyuk.
What a joke that was. They can't suspend them for a game.
Didn't they suspend Sidney Crosby?
Well, here's the great thing.
No, it's because if you don't go to the All-Star game, then you can't play because you're injured. So he just didn't play.
Yeah.
No, I
You know
think
what'd be
it was a
hilarious?
suspension. Look it up. Look
You know what'd be
it up.
hilarious?
Because he was injured and he couldn't
No.
play, so you have to sit out the next game.
I actually
Look it
think he
up,
was
man.
suspended, man.
Yeah, type
Yeah.
in
I
Datsyuk
think that was the only
All-Star
time
game
that's
suspension.
No, the Sidney Crosby one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm
Was that
referring to.
different?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
sorry.
Sidney Crosby one. Not
Yeah, well,
that.
Sidney Crosby's been injured for a lot of the All-Star
Well, how many has he played in 2?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But think about this. If the NHL wants to suspend you, you get all your friends on board. So say you're Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, Connor McDavid, Austin
You got to
Matthews.
suspend all of you.
They got to suspend all of you. So then, the first game back from the All-Star break, not only have they had 0 star power at their All-Star game, which definitely pisses off the city of Tampa, then you've got no star power in your NBC, CBC, Sportsnet, whoever's carrying it games.
Oh, shit.
Does that send a message? And if
Okay,
you're...
lockouts are all about prick waving. This is just prick waving. Please don't, because it's just another step towards a lockout. I have a mortgage, you assholes.
It's coming.
Don't have a lockout.
It's coming. It's coming.
What happens to all the hockey games that run on the NBC sports networks?
What do you mean?
Because the NBC has the rights to the Olympics, so all of that time is
And aren't they
being,
pissed?
They're really pissed with the NHL about that.
Yeah.
So
because
how-
they fully expected. I don't know how they've worked that out, but apparently behind the scenes there was some pretty tense meetings.
Damn.
Look, you could watch the Rangers take on Tampa, or you could watch
Biathlon.
Mark Arcabello, Brian Gionta, and James Wisniewski take on who is even going to be on Canada's team. I think they're naming the team in 2 weeks, something like
Yeah,
that.
January 11th.
Can't wait.
Jesse Blacker.
Friend of the Steve Dangle podcast, Zach Boychuk, scored the Spengler Cup winning goal the other day.
Is he a friend of the show?
He is a friend of the show, a listener.
Really?
Yeah.
Zach listens to our show?
Zach.
Well, hi, Zach.
Zach
See?
already.
We're
Well, I mean,
already first name basis.
My boy Z actually follows me on Twitter like he follows everybody else on Twitter. So that's why.
He does follow everyone else, and that makes me not feel special. But
He told you he listens?
I slid into those DMs.
Did you really?
Yeah, I slid.
How'd you open?
I don't know. Let me look.
Hey, man. One time somebody tried to charge me $1 extra for my Mazda, but then I told him no.
I think they're going to trade Garrett Oh, sorry. That's the wrong conversation.
I'm surprised you didn't say your boy. That would have been a lot better.
My home boy.
Boy.
Yeah. So it
Boy
would be-
is going to like get it.
the NHL.
God, that's so bad. Sorry, that was in the first best of, right?
It was.
The NHL could not suspend all their star players for not going to the All-Star game because then they'd be totally screwed on the TV schedule.
No, they could.
And if they did,
Batman would do it.
what a message sent. Now, does it accomplish anything? No, but I think the players probably want to have their voices heard. So it would be very interesting to see if this happens. 99% chance that it doesn't because this is the NHL and these guys don't do this. They don't protest much. But it would be very interesting. And there
would be
are
very
rumors.
interesting.
There are rumors.
It'd be interesting on the drama side. The entertainment side of it, and I think Friedman might have been the one who pitched this as well. Dude, look at the NHL this year. Look at the Lightning.
They're an all-star team.
They should, you're on the right track, Adam. They should have an all-star team. Their first place, it's in Tampa. Make them one of the teams.
Huh.
Make them one of the team. How many players are on each team? Like 7?
Yeah. Be kind of cool.
That'd be wicked. Come on.
They had when it was LA, did not 4 LA players make it?
It's
So-
always
and they were
like
pretty
that.
good.
Montreal.
Yeah, and they had the
Mike
whole team up
Komisarek
there.
was an all-star.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, dude, you could run Stamkos, Kucherov, Hedman, Vasilevsky.
Which it'll probably happen.
That will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
win.
Not only will they be a team, but they'll win. No, it was I can't read the full open to Boychuk, but it was basically he's in the book. There's a story that involves him, and I sent it to him.
Oh, cool.
And he blah blah blah. We were talking about an interview that we did. He said, "No way, that's awesome. Oddly enough, I remember being interviewed by you. Don't remember having to call you Corey, though. Oh, that's part of the story. I've been listening to your podcast all summer. Love that you guys are into The Bachelor.
What? See? So all you haters and losers who didn't like the fact that we were into The Bachelor, Zach boy-checked us.
Why did you
haters
just
and
call
losers?
people haters and losers?
Because haters and losers.
That's why I did it. I just like calling.
I listened to some of our old Mark
even to the
Madden
haters
stuff.
and losers. What's that?
I listened to some of our old Mark Madden stuff. 'Cause I was
Why do
trying
you
to find a Jake and Smallwood clip.
Why do you
keep bringing this up?
What?
I'm just listening to our old stuff.
Just
Because I haven't seen you guys
time in the show.
I haven't seen you guys for a couple weeks and I missed
Are you writing a book?
Steve? I'm writing a book.
Steve
I'm a good guy.
is the podcast meme.
Yeah.
Except with you and me. He sits there and he's like, I'm with my friends. And just him on his podcast app. Listen to the episodes from 2016, apparently.
I love inside jokes. I'd love to be part of one someday.
Thoughts on the Zac Rinaldo suspension? Only 6 games.
Trash. Shit. Like, look, Paul Bissonnette got on Twitter and he actually made a compelling argument, I thought, for Zac Rinaldo. Look,
agree.
It happens so fast, et cetera, et cetera. The hit, I'm trying to remember the hit on McKinnon. I don't think it was that bad. But then, like, Gerard is coming at him. Mm-hmm. You should never blame the victim, but I mean, Gerard needs to be aware that he is coming at a player with
a rap sheet.
No, well, he's coming at a player in a we're about to tussle manner. He was.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of dropped his guard. He skated full bore at Ronaldo and then decided he wasn't going to do anything.
Yep.
And then Ronaldo pops him. Now, Ronaldo doesn't know he's an unsuspecting player because a second prior, he looked like a suspecting player. This is... I think this goes back to a conversation we had a while ago. By the way, Nathan McKinnon is not a guy you want to fight with. Who's that fighting with him? Archibald? That's such a horrible matchup. McKinnon boxes.
And he's also extremely lanky.
Yeah, he's a boxer, and Archibald is smaller than Mitch Marner. I think he's 5'9", 175 pounds. He'd be the smallest guy in this room. I don't know. But at the same time, like I just called the suspension trash, it's Zac Rinaldo, and he's been suspended. What was this, his 6th one? His 5th one?
And it was also a questionable hit.
Was it? Okay,
well,
we missed it.
maybe
We
not
missed it.
questionable. I think he just caught him, I don't know if it's
Let's look.
questionable.
Eric Johnson laid a beating on him, though.
Nah, it's not a questionable hit.
That's fine.
Yeah, the hit's fine.
That hit, unless he left his feet and we couldn't see from that angle. And it was because McKinnon got banged up.
No.
And look,
Gerard does go after him.
Yeah.
So here's my question.
I'm sorry, that's a little bit his fault. And okay, so he goes at him, he's making body contact with him, and he's not looking at him. Are you nuts? That's a flip mode kind of guy. There's a few players in the league you don't want to do that to because they got the crazy eyes. You don't want to do that to Zach Kassian. He's nuts. You don't want to do that to Zac Rinaldo. Mm-hmm. Kadri's got a little bit of the red mist. Andrew Shaw will rip your freaking head off. You can't come at a guy like Zac Rinaldo or anyone like that and expect nothing to happen.
So here's my question.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm contradicting myself.
Does the NHL, well, it's fine. You're working through it. Does the NHL look at it as an isolated incident? Do they look at each suspension as this is isolated, or do they look at a player's history? Do they take that into account?
They have to take the history into account, but I think in this situation, they didn't really. Yeah, see, that's interesting. That is interesting. So, okay, this is Ronaldo's, again, 5th or 6th suspension. So
And a couple AHL suspensions in there, too.
Yeah. So let's say it was Archibald doing that to McKinnon. And McKinnon's a star. So let's say Archibald to friggin' Blake Como. What does Archibald get? Maybe a game? You think?
Maybe. He's also not going to throw a punch that looks as vicious as this. Like Zac Rinaldo, when he throws a punch, it's Zac Rinaldo throwing the punch. It's not Archibald throwing the punch. It's not, it's what he does.
He does. I know Bissonnette was saying he didn't have a second to think. He had a second to think there. He had a second to think. Again, Gerard is not even looking at Ronaldo, which is dumb, so dumb on Girard's part. But in the split second you have, don't you go, he's not even looking at me? I don't think the fight's on, guys.
Yeah.
But is it your fault that the guy coming at you is not prepared? Protect yourself at all times. But this isn't boxing. This isn't like that time that guy dropped his guard against Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match.
No, but this is hockey.
That's boxing.
This is hockey.
Sorry.
And you still have to keep that in mind. Like, I understand what Paul Bissonnette was saying. I think he's right in the sense that, like, you got to defend yourself because you can't take that chance. Because if, let's say, Zac Rinaldo lets his guard down and Samuel Girard decks him in the face with a stick, then Zac Rinaldo let his guard down and Samuel Girard's out for a game or two. So that's the thing, is that, like, it's a tough thing, but at 6 games, it's a lot of games, but is it enough? And and this is not a guy that hasn't done this before. As you said, he's got flip mode. He flips.
It's so hard because, you know what, I think, because a lot of people were saying this should be the end of his season. So now we're talking like a 50-game suspension, something like that.
That's more than they gave Marty McSorley originally.
Like that, what Ronaldo did on this play happens several times this season.
Oh, yeah.
So are you going to dole out 50 games every time this happens?
I think it's just because his last name is Ronaldo and he's got a reputation, man.
I don't, it's hard. It's hard because I looked at the 6-game suspension and I go, that's trash. And then I look at it and I don't know, I'm going to get yelled at. A lot of people aren't going to like that, but okay. If you come at someone and you can't half-heartedly come at someone.
That's what Girard did.
Yeah, you can't half-heartedly get in someone's face.
Yeah.
You know that whole them's fighting words saying? There's body language to it too.
My dad.
Them's body language fighting words.
My dad's a very quiet guy, which is funny because I'm completely the opposite. And he's very well-mannered. He's, well-dressed and clean haircut and not an aggressive person at all.
A haircut you could set your watch to.
Yeah, I've never seen him swear in the car at other drivers. Like, he's not a fiery man.
Well, we're not related.
But my dad said to me once, he said, okay, well, if you're in school, because I was talking about some bullies that were giving me a hard time or something, and he said, well, the whole point in life, he said, try not to fight.
Yeah.
But if you are going to fight, make sure you hit them first.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of the school that Zac Rinaldo's in. If it is going to happen, and sometimes in life it's unavoidable, especially when you're a kid and in the NHL, which is kind of like being a kid. You have to, you got to hit first, man. You got to hit.
If you get punched and you go at someone the way Girard did, it's a little bit your fault. It's a little bit your fault. I take it back. I guess it's not that bad of a
I wonder if Girard went
suspension.
I wonder if Girard went, and then when he backed off.
Hey, you can't hit my. Oh, it's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But he wasn't looking at him.
He was.
He skated over to him, so he saw him.
He did see him.
Is there a wider angle of the whole thing? Because I want to know who he's looking
this
at.
top view here. Hold on.
Sorry. Give me your computer. Sorry. Okay, so hit happens. Who are you looking at? Who's he even looking at? I thought he was looking at an official.
Right over to him.
He skates over to him, but then he's like looking over Ronaldo's shoulder. Who are you looking at?
Where is he?
Wait, I think I might have figured it out.
There he goes. He's skating over to him.
Who's the right-hander there? Who is this? Who's this?
I don't know. But
45, Archibald. You know who he's looking at? A more suitable dance partner.
No.
You don't think?
Look where Archibald's going. He's come down. He goes right here. Archibald's coming.
We're going to have to put this in the YouTube video because no one's going to understand what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, sorry. No, but he realizes, okay, this is a bad matchup for me, and he's looking for a more suitable dance partner, I think. But Archibald he's not even dealing with it. I don't even know if he saw it. Girard made a mistake. So did Ronaldo.
And the next time...
You can't suspend someone for getting punched. But you can definitely suspend someone for...
Next time, grab his... If you're going to get in there, grab him. Grab him. Grab both those arms and make sure he can't move those arms. And just freaking hold on.
All I would say is...
you stood up.
You're asking Zac Rinaldo to wait. Which...
Yeah, you can't.
I do think he had enough time. It's so fast and, you don't have time to think. I think he did.
Okay.
but not a lot. It's a little bit Girard's fault, which takes some of the, I wouldn't say some of the blame away from Ronaldo, but some of the fire out of it, you know?
Well, I mean, Ronaldo could still have full blame, and Girard can have some blame too.
Totally.
That's possible. It's not like it's not like
I feel
not
terrible
weighted
for
scale
Girard.
here.
I feel terrible for Girard.
Absolutely.
Terrible, but yeah, if you get in someone's face like that and you get punched, it's not strange.
Something to low key keep your eye on is the Brandon Saad Artemi Panarin result of trade. Artemi Panarin is absolutely tearing it up. Brandon Saad, not so much.
Had such a hot first week or two. Such a hot first week or two. Ooh.
I'm
What
just
if
saying.
Chicago doesn't make the playoffs this year?
Oh, they will.
Where are they?
I will look that up for you. Give me
Last I
one
checked,
second.
they were a wild card team.
They are not even that. They've got 42 points. The next wild card team, Anaheim, at 44.
Oh, wow. So you're saying they're going to make it, but they're not in.
I think they'll make it.
Who are they going to leapfrog out of the teams that are ahead of them? They got Minnesota, Anaheim, Dallas. They're not going to catch.
Yeah, they're not going to
Winnipeg is leading the Central.
52 points.
Stop that.
They're doing great.
Winnipeg, Nashville,
About
St.
bloody
Louis.
time, though. They've always had the talent. They finally just put it together.
Yo, Vegas is winning the cup. Can we talk about how Vegas is winning the cup?
Actually, what I wanted to get to is that Boston has now surpassed Toronto for second in the division. That's how hot Boston is.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. They might finish ahead of the Leafs, but I'm not worried about it.
3 games in hand. Toronto, Boston, first round series.
I think these
It's
are
looking more and more like it's going to happen.
These are two teams who should want each other. The Leafs have played Boston amazingly over the past 2 years. And if
Boston's
I look around the
boogeyman.
East, I go, yeah, I'd rather play you instead of Tampa or literally anyone in the Metro.
Columbus or the New York Islanders.
Yeah, no, both teams should want this matchup. Both fan bases should want this matchup. It's awesome. I just hope it happens. James, don't screw this up for us.
Yeah.
Please don't lift another hopeless team to the playoffs, James.
I'd love to see a Florida-Toronto matchup. I think it'd be sick.
Imagine if James Reimer is what prevents a Toronto-Boston rematch.
He couldn't, though. Well, yeah, I guess they could. But they're so far back. I mean, Toronto and Boston have 48
January
points.
1st.
Florida's got 30. Florida's like 9 points behind.
January 1st.
Was Pittsburgh not out of the playoffs last year this time? Or like
2 years
It was
ago, I think they were.
mid-December. Mid-December.
2
2 years ago, they were when they fired Mike Johnston.
Yeah.
But yeah, 41 points. They're 3 points behind the Islanders for that last wild card spot. And Columbus, believe it or not, is in a wild card spot too. And I would call them a cup favorite or a contender at least. 47 points. But that Metro division, the Rangers have climbed back in because the Rangers will not die.
The Eastern Conference
It's
Final
insane.
is fascinating.
And New
'cause-
Jersey, second place.
I know. The Eastern Conference Final is going to be fascinating because you're going to have whoever comes out of the Atlantic and a battered and bruised Metro team. A Metro team that had to defeat 2 other Metro teams.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate.
Wow. Hey, that's amazing.
Tampa Vegas final.
Do you guys want to hear what Switzerland's coach said about his team's chances going into
Yes,
the game
because
against
everyone's
Canada?
been talking about this clip and I haven't heard it
It's
yet.
so funny. It's so.
I've also not heard this.
All right, I think you're gonna like it. So obviously they're playing in the quarters for the World Juniors. Oh, hang on here, and here we go.
Canada in the quarterfinals, what sort of game are you expecting there?
Like a Canada team who dominates us again, and we try to hold against.
What did you learn about them in the pre-tournament game you played?
Learn that we are far away from them still. They're faster, they're bigger, they're stronger, they can shoot better, they can pass better, they can do everything better.
So is this what you'll tell your team? Like, what do you say to your team?
Exactly that.
No,
Try to fight against. What I want to say, they have like I don't know how many other first rounders they have. How many?
7.
Huh?
7.
And the rest in the second round.
Yeah.
Huh? And one in the fourth round who play like the most NHL games so far. So what I want to tell against? We just battle and try to battle. We have one in the fourth round too. One. And the rest is not drafted.
Is it good, though, that you can kind of be the underdog and no pressure?
Well, the pressure, I don't know that word, pressure. We don't have pressure at all.
I freaking love him. I love him.
That answer ended so abruptly.
His name is Christian Woolwin, by the way. He is the coach of Team Switzerland. And you know what? I listened to that whole clip and I'm like, I don't disagree with a thing that he said.
Nope.
They are better than us. It's almost like the Larry Brooks. The Russians are better than us. They'll beat us 9 times out of 10.
Everyone got so mad at us. What? Everyone got so mad at this guy.
They got mad at him for that?
I saw some people who were like, that's so demoralizing.
Not
But
at all.
Yeah, it's
honest.
It's in the same spirit, just said less passionately, as if we play them 10 times, they might win 9. Because that was the whole reason Miracle on Ice is crazy is it was a miracle that they won. This would have been Switzerland's miracle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go in with that attitude, and he didn't have the but we're going to go out there and we're going to beat them.
He did say, like, oh, we're gonna work hard, but he said we're in.
But he should have also said we're going to beat them. He shouldn't have said they're so much better than us. We're going to try, no pressure.
So you know what
We
demoralizes
have
me?
to play the best game of our lives.
That's he
Bingo. Love that.
Yeah.
What demoralizes me is liars. If I have a manager or leader who, in an untenable situation like that, where you're literally the odds are stacked against you, and rather than inspiring you, they just lie. Because if he said, but I feel like we're gonna go in there and have a good chance. No, you don't. You don't have a good chance. So all he's saying is we don't have a great chance here. Look at that team. And also what he's doing is he's distracting. He's playing the flattery game. Oh, they're really, really good. You know what I mean? We've seen this before. I think this is gamesmanship a little bit too. Don't discount that.
Interesting.
He's right. I'd rather him be honest because as a young man, you just want somebody to just be honest. Yeah, we're in for it, but we're going to work hard, and here's our strategy, and we're going to try to execute this strategy to win.
All right, boys, we're going to go kick Canada's ass. We're going to kick the ass of Canada. Nope. No, I think that's exactly
I'll take honesty any day.
Yeah. I mean, what's so fun about tournaments like this, the World Juniors especially, is every year there's some team that should barely be there that overachieves and they freak out. They freak. Slovakia kind of ruined your story there with the Finland own goal.
Yeah.
That sucked. They were on the verge of being that team this year. Switzerland could be that team. They were this team a few years ago. They had a goalie, Benjamin Kahns, caught right-handed, and they beat Russia. I'm pretty sure.
Christoph Skuslevsky from the Olympics.
Yeah, that was Latvia. Peter Mrazek was that goalie in the World Juniors for the Czech Republic a few years ago, and he had his big celebrations every time he made a save or his team scored a goal. He interacting with the fans. Denmark was that team last year or the year before. Everyone's like, "Holy shit, how are they winning?" Who did they have? No, was it Denmark? I want to say they had Nikolai Ehlers. I think it was Denmark. And it was like him and his band of merry men, and just willed them to like a
quarterfinals.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's great. I think it's what makes this tournament great.
Mm-hmm. And there needs to. I like that honesty. I just love the honesty. Tell me it's going to be tough. That'll make me want to fight harder.
So Canada played the U.S. in an outdoor game that a lot of people didn't like because it took forever. I mean, it snowed. You can't help that. And the camera angles were kind of weird, but I don't know. You brutal. You also can't help that.
Yeah.
It's a football stadium, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it didn't look good, but I'm not sure what they were to do.
You sold 40,000.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Tickets. You're good.
I'm not sure what you were to do.
And it sucked because I think half the Canadians that wanted to go couldn't because there was some sort of accident on the QEW.
So there was a terrible delay to get across the border.
Yeah, there's lots of sports reporters and stuff who were going down, and they couldn't make it. They couldn't go.
Natasha
Staniszewski, I think.
Long name from TSN.
Yes.
Yeah, she was tweeting about that.
I think the border was bad because they're just, they decide to tighten the borders whenever the hell they feel like it. And then there was that accident, which literally not just blocked traffic a little bit, blocked the whole road. It was out.
So the game was a complete failure and we should never do it again.
They sold 40,000 tickets.
Is it getting, sorry, I brought that up to say, is it getting a little old?
The outdoor game thing?
Yeah. No, not the outdoor game thing. Like, I don't know. What's the best rivalry in international junior hockey? Because we could definitively say a few years ago, Canada-US.
Sweden-Russia's pretty good. They sure hate each other.
Sweden, Russia's
and there's
all right.
like political stuff there too, right? Because Russia keeps sending submarines into Swedish water, so the Swedes and Finns are a little bit upset about that. Oh yeah,
It's definitely USA Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else scales like that.
I do like Swedes and Russians though.
I don't know. I just feel like it's maybe it's lost a little bit of the fire for me. But there was such a renaissance when Canada won 5 straight. It was just crazy here, the popularity. I feel like it's better for the sport overall that other teams win consistently.
Sure.
You can't. I don't think it's good for a sport when the same country wins all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Canada wins at the Olympics all the time, but I don't think it's great for the sport. It's already a stereotype that, Canadians and their hockey, like the States winning every now and then would be good.
Well, and I guess the other stereotype is Americans and their every other sport. It's like
So then-
Americans and the Chinese basically dominate every Olympics they go to.
You know what would give international hockey a big kick in the ass, I think, in the States and in Canada? If Russia won.
Yeah, but Russia seems to be falling off.
Right. And it's kind of killing the rivalry, isn't it?
Sure is.
A little bit. Like, I mean, both teams still hate each other and they usually play decent games. But it was great when, like, Canada became, like, the underdog at certain points throughout the rivalry. It's lacking.
Yeah.
It's lacking.
So I guess we need to do the press conference. We ready for that?
Sure. I'm not going to do it. I see you looking.
Are you going to hold back all of 2018?
I see you looking.
All right.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
In 2017, who do you think scored the most goals in the calendar year of 2017? So from January 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2017. Which NHL player, National Hockey League professional player, scored the most amount of goals? The ones where the puck crossed the red line fully. The red line that's inside of the goaltender's net.
Can you clarify?
I can. Okay.
Does that include playoffs?
No, it does not.
I think
Season
I
only.
know the answer, and I can't believe it. I'm going to say Nikita Kucherov to be wrong on purpose.
I'm going to say Blake Wheeler.
The correct answer is Nikita Kucherov.
Oh,
of course.
Who do you think it was?
Why did you think it was wrong?
I thought it was going to be Anders Lee.
Oh.
Second place.
Anders Lee.
Anders Lee.
That's crazy.
It's incredible.
Who
We
is
looked at
he?
this before, and he had the calendar lead for like December, and nobody even considers him a top 10
it's
player.
weird.
Last I checked, Josh Bailey was second in league scoring.
Yeah, Josh.
What's going on?
The team they're scoring goals, but nobody's really paying attention. Anders Lee is apparently the second best goal scorer in the league.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken,
their goaltending's been bad.
if I am not mistaken, no, okay, I am mistaken.
Way to be mistaken.
Josh Bailey and Tavares both have contracts that are up this year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That sucks. I thought Anders Lee might be up too, but he's not. He's got 3 points. He's got 2 more years.
He's
this
making
year
like
next.
nothing, right?
375.
44 goals.
Yeah, that's all right.
44. Austin Matthews is also on the list at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 39
Not bad.
goals.
Especially for a guy that missed as many games as he did.
Yeah. 5th, Patrick Kane, 39. 4th, Ovi, 40.
Whoa,
Brad
whoa, whoa.
Marchand.
Patrick Kane had 39 goals in a calendar year.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Is that the 3rd time or the 4th time he's done that?
I mean, look. If he hits 30 goals 5 times, we need to start talking statue.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
already being a statue built.
Oh, they're making a statue.
Yeah, I don't even think we talked
No, but is it a statue?
You don't think there's going to be a statue?
Oh, there will be a statue. Steve, there will
Him
be.
and Taves got a statue coming.
Now, if he does it
next to
5
MJ.
times,
50 feet.
if he does it 5 times, is it... At what point does Taves get his own? And because you'd think right now they would put them together as a one statue.
They get a statue
but they
for
would
each
want
30-goal
separate
season.
statues, don't you think? At a certain
A statue for each 30-goal season.
Now, do they just build the statues on top of the Michael Jordan statue? Or do they just put
Michael
them...
Jordan's holding them,
Oh, okay, there we go.
right?
Imagine if they had as many 30-goal seasons as, like, Max Pacioretty. Like that'd be crazy.
I was looking that up. Max
Do they
Pacioretty.
combined have as many 30-goal seasons as Max Pacioretty?
Ooh, that's a
Max
good
Pacioretty has 5 30-goal seasons.
Oh, so they do.
Do they have 5 between them?
Does Jonathan Toews have a 30-goal season?
He's got at least one.
They went to 29 once, but I don't know if he got a 30.
He's got at least one.
Taves,
I like this game.
DB.
Does your team star duo have more 30-goal
Jonathan
seasons than Max
Toews
Pacioretty?
has 134 goal season.
How many does Patrick Kane?
a 32 as well.
Oh, he's got 32 in there? Ah, yes.
2 seasons later. Yeah, fair enough.
That's no fun.
So yes, they combined to have as many as Max Pacioretty.
How many does Michael Grabner have?
That's a good question.
Pop this.
I like this. What duo has more 30-goal seasons? Kane and Taves or Pacioretty Grabner?
Pacioretty Grabner. Because Grabner has 1.
Grabner has one, and he's going to have another this year. He's on
Yes,
pace.
he is. Yeah, he is. He's got
That's
18
nuts.
goals already in 39 games. He's going to, for sure. He could.
Jesse's giving me the Steven. Steven.
Steve, I don't appreciate this.
You know how many? I get tweets every single day that just go, Steven.
Do you ever look at those tweets and say, hey,
Need to change my
maybe it's
ways.
me?
No. I double down.
All right. Next thing from the
My
press
New Year's
conference
resolution is just keep
is to
it
stop
keep it
all the
moving.
pollution. Talk to him. Fish don't kill my vibe. Anyways.
I know the song.
Okay.
I know the song you're referring to.
Shout out AIVIS.
Ivis.
Ivis on Twitter, who sent us this little tweet. A girl I know from college is a photographer in smallish town, Oklahoma, and posts a graphic with all the names of babies she's photographed each year.
Remember
I
before
can't
the show?
decide what my least favorite name is. It's all so bad.
Remember before the show when I was like, Jesse, I'm going to send you a link to a tweet and you can decide whether or not we use it.
This was it?
It was this.
Ah, it's perfect.
Great minds.
Would you like to hear some of the names?
Yes.
I'll start at the top.
So wait, are these boys or girls? Or does it
Both.
matter? Okay.
I can distinguish which ones are which.
Okay.
We got a boy. His name is Hudson. We got Warner, Bennett. Stop me anytime. I'm just going to run through them.
Okay, Hudson.
I don't mind Hudson.
My buddy's dog is named Hudson. I don't know any humans. Warner as a first name?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. What's the next one?
Haley. It's very normal.
How do you spell Haley?
Haley.
No. I'm not feeling it. I feel like that's. Can you name a boy Haley?
It's a girl.
I think if you did, you would spell it that way. No, isn't Haley supposed to be like Hay?
No, they spell it Haley.
I'm not feeling it.
Okay. Hayes. It's a boy.
First name?
Hayes.
There's going to be a generation of lasties.
Lasties aren't bad.
I guess.
You're
a firsty though.
I am a firsty. Blaine.
I mean, you're a Pokemon boss, yeah.
Sky Ellen.
Stop. What?
Guy Ellen?
Jesse, one name at a time.
SKYELYNN.
One more time.
Scalen?
Sky Ellen is better. But I think it's Scalen. I'm looking at it right now.
Skyellen?
I think it's Skylan.
Skylen.
I bet there's
too
a
many
list.
letters.
Do we have a listener named Sky Ellen? If we have one person, can you please tell us how to pronounce
What
your
the
name?
hell is that name?
I've never seen it before.
Another one that
it
pops
might
out
be
at me.
that might be one of those like old Irish names like that are Celtic or something like that.
Where it's like 2 syllables and
Yeah. Well, I met
14 letters.
I met someone named Finola once. I was like, "Where'd you get a name like Finola?" And she's like, "Oh, it's Irish, but it's old." And I was like, "Oh, they just called her Finny." And I was like, "That's cool. I like that Finny."
We have
Don't give someone a name where they're just going to call them the easier thing. Oh, we're going to name her
really, Stephen?
But we all
I
just call
know.
her Floof.
What are you talking about?
Steve and Steven are a little different than. No, I think it's pretty much
literally the same
Then you call her
concept.
Flynn.
I think,
Stop.
I think it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
I can't believe
not.
the one guy in the room who actually has a shortened name
not.
was the one that...
What are you talking about?
It's not.
This is perfect.
not.
2018 is off to a great start. Oh my God.
I will know. What
hope
was your friend's
you
goofy
saw
name?
this, right?
What was your friend's
You
dumb
saw
name?
this too.
Tell me your dumb friend's name.
Her name was Finola,
Finola.
which is a very pretty old Irish name.
And they called her Finn.
Yeah, Finny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that.
There's
And that's the same as Steven and Steve.
there's Christopher.
Shut up.
There's Joseph. Like I don't. Caitlin, Katie. Like it's a thing.
I am literally deleting one letter from my name.
Yeah, to make it easier.
Yeah, it's one letter. So I'm not changing Fanulin to Finny.
What about Chris to Christopher?
Oh, those people are silly.
the
Producer
name-
Christopher was a joke.
There's Dax and then a Daxton.
Yo,
Dax,
Jesse,
I could have stomached.
bottom right.
Are you talking about Tabor?
Yes, I'm talking about Tabor.
Tabor sounds like a mid-card character from Thor.
See,
How do you spell Tabor?
Taybor.
Taybor.
Tabor.
Tabor is like a beer from the Czech Republic that's in a back corner of the LCBO that you never go to.
Adam, second row, 6 down. What do you see?
Kelton?
Stop. How do you spell Kelton?
How do you think you spell Kelton?
Yeah, how do you spell Kelton?
Yeah.
With a sweater tied around your waist, boat shoes.
Riding a horse.
Yeah.
A polo.
A white
on.
horse. Has to be a white
Yeah,
horse.
it's a white horse.
Yeah, really high hiked shorts.
How do you spell it?
Kelton.
That's very funny.
Kelton.
Wow.
Well done.
Golf claps. Got it.
Got it.
I like the girl that's named Navy.
It's always nice when you're named after a shade of blue.
Or a division of a profession.
Yeah.
Like-
I
think we have to.
Navy of the Navy.
Am I going to have to fight Rihanna to adopt this child?
The Navy general of the Navy named Navy.
I don't know. She's an army general.
Gary, spelt Garri.
Geary. What?
Also, it's a girl.
That's why. Oh, this is my girlfriend, Gary. That's my dad's name.
I got.
Dude.
I just want you to consider yourself in the throes of passion with some of these names.
Oh, Gary. Oh, no.
Geary.
All right, Adam. First row, 1 up.
Oh, Tabor.
First row, one.
You're just gonna call
one
him
up
Tay.
from the bottom.
One up from the bottom. Oh, this one's a Star Wars name. This one's definitely a Star Wars name.
Tabor, I knew you would come.
No. Kaysen. Definitely is. There's actually
Kaysen?
there's a Kaysen in Star Wars. If you play one of the video games, there's a Kaysen Moore. Just saying.
Kaysen, Tybor, Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of kids named Axel these days. I'm seeing a lot of
Yeah.
Axel.
Shout out Final Fantasy. There was the character named Axel.
Was there? Oh, I thought it
Yes.
was Guns N' Roses, but yeah, maybe.
Maybe Guns N' Roses.
But even after Axl Rose, no idiot character from Final Fantasy. What kind of fucking loser are you?
The 8th one. It was on PlayStation, the original PlayStation. Jeez. It's clearly from that.
It's like a video game full of guitarists. Oh my God, Jesse. What do we got?
That's basically it.
There's 2 more that I love.
Oh, okay.
I gotta find them. Holland.
Is that a guy or a girl?
It's a girl.
And it's not Holland. It's Holland.
Holland. Hollen.
Like hauling this backpack full of weights around.
Yes. Haul in it.
Is their bum their hauling ass?
That wasn't very good.
You've never heard
Hauling ass.
Yeah,
I thought it was
but
good.
no.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I'll give you that.
It wasn't a immediate click.
See,
and I
Adam
like
comes
things
up with
that-
sayings that like your 64-year-old aunt knows. So I figured he would be on my side in this one. So thanks, Dad.
Jesse's too
Let's
young and hip
just
for
keep
this.
trucking, you guys. Let's keep watching.
I like the
Don't look at a gift horse in the mouth, Jesse.
We have a whole show named that.
last row. Jesse, 5 down.
Huxon.
Stop.
Okay, imagine that's a guy's name. So imagine your throes of passion. Huxon. That feels great.
HUXXON.
Just no, you
Just the one.
1X.
Oh, we don't want to
IN.
get crazy. It should be 3 X's.
It should be Huxon. Huxon.
And the shout out the 2028 water polo team at Harvard.
Truly.
Featuring Augustus, Huck, I assume Braden,
Hawk.
Harper.
I assume Braden.
and Jack.
Jack's fine.
2 Jacks.
That's fine.
Yeah, I thought I'd give him a little shout out. Also Sawyer, probably on that team. There's a Huck and a Sawyer.
Like, I can't wait
Huckleberry Finn
for
must
like
be bumping.
when we're doing this bit in like 4 years, and we're talking about like, from the Maine lacrosse team, we have Dr. Pepper. In net, we have Sprite and Pepsi. Like, we just go through all the friggin' pops. Stupid.
This was our most upvoted question on our Reddit page this week. We did the show a little early, so we didn't have as many questions. But this one, people seem to love. They wanted to know, what is Smart Insider Man thinking about all the recent trade rumors? How soon will the truth come out?
Well, I'd have to ask him.
Sorry, say this again.
What is Smart Insider Man thinking about all the recent trade rumors? How soon will the truth come out?
I think he's Smart Insider Man for some reason has taken the last 8 months off. And
In search of the truth, Adam.
I mean, the truth does take time. So I'm wondering when Smart Insider Man is coming back.
You know when Batman went into the cave to learn all his
Batcave?
Batman shit? No, not the Batcave. The one from Batman.
It's
the
like-
one with Liam Neeson.
It's like Batman went into a cave.
the one
like
with Liam
the
Neeson.
Batcave.
That is-
I'm talking about the Batcave.
What's his name in that too? It's like
Raj Al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Who is also one of the baby names that we skipped over.
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yo, if
This
you're
is my
ballsy enough to
daughter,
name,
Ra's al Ghul.
if you're ballsy enough to name your kid Ra's al Ghul, I give you a high five for that. That's amazing.
This is my son, the Penguin.
So yeah, do we think we're going to hear from Mr. Sim soon?
Listen, it's been really cold recently, but I've been told that the trade front, it's heating up. It's getting hot.
You think so?
And when Smart Insider Man comes out of hiding or whatever you want to call it, he's going to come with a hot heaping pile of truth. And I don't know if you're going to be able to handle it. It's like that movie where they can't handle the truth sometimes. I think that was the title of the movie.
Lion King.
Can't handle the truth sometimes.
That's the Lion King.
Yeah, no, it's Toy Story, idiot.
Oh my God.
Where Jack Nicholson's character goes, "You can't handle the truth, Andy."
Buzz.
I'm tired. It's 10:30.
Should we wrap it up?
Did we ever record this late?
Well, we're gonna start. By the way, we're doing.
No, we're not.
Well,
No.
I don't think we have a choice.
I refuse.
Andy's dad from Toy Story died of polio. We talked about
Why are
this
you laughing?
because it was so ridiculous, and I remember us talking about this on Kiss.
Oh yeah, because they picked
about
the weirdest.
how Andy's dad has the most tragic story.
He's crying.
With apologies to all those people
movie.
dumb enough not to get a polio vaccine. By the way.
Because the original writer of Toy Story decided randomly
Polio.
to add this backstory. And he's like, yeah, Andy's dad's never in there because he died of polio.
And nobody dies of
And he
polio. And that's
gave-
why it was like, what?
He gave his son this box of toys. And Woody, that's the saddest shit I've ever heard. Anyways.
Yeah, that's funny. I love that
thinking
you're
about it,
laughing about someone having. Somebody's going to be offended by a
guy's not
fictional.
real.
Yeah, somebody's going to be offended by you laughing at a fictional character having polio. Somebody will be offended. I can guarantee it.
I just love how like it was a snarky little thing amongst fans. Like, oh, where's Andy's dad at? Oh,
Yeah.
he's never there.
Polio.
Guess what? Dead.
Crippled and dead.
You insensitive son of a bitch. Polio. It'll get you.
Oh my god.
If you're in the Disney universe,
Watch out.
it'll get you.
Yeah, Disney writers have this ability to make you feel things, and that's pulling a card, man. Could have been like he died of something that would be natural causes these days.
I
had a heart attack playing hockey,
He actually
shoveling
got
snow.
scurvy.
He got
He was on a boat.
he drank some bad water and dysentery and died. And he died. He was playing Oregon Trail and actually died.
Their town got a really bad rat infestation, and everyone died of the bubonic plague, which is why they had to move so much.
You know, because it came aboard rats from the Ottoman Empire came aboard. It came aboard a ship, which ended up in Andy's town.
Ottoman Empire.
Well, that's, you know.
These are all, yeah. Toy Story is just like a fever dream of a child on a boat sailing the seas for the Ottoman Empire.
That's right.
He's having a dream where in the future we will have toys of spacemen.
By the way, did you didn't Edward Cullen die in didn't he die of something weird too? Edward Cullen from Twilight? From Twilight?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I think he died of the flu in 1917, and the only way to save him, that was another ridiculous backstory. The only way to save him was to turn him into a vampire because he was dying. So one of the vampires sucked his blood to save him. And that's how
I think I'll just die.
No, but then he meets Bella and they have a super positive relationship. Oh,
Now-
super positive.
Or he makes her a vampire.
If you're a vampire and you're 800 years old, is it weird when you're dating somebody who's in their 20s?
You're introducing her to your friends? All right, there's a bit of an age gap.
But they don't age.
Several hundred years. Yeah.
They don't age.
But he
age a
gains
concept
the
for mortals?
wisdom of an 800-year-old.
Well, he's 100.
In my head, he's 800.
Right. I mean, yeah. You know what would really suck? At that point,
The last half hour of the show.
if you've lived 800 years, you have no excuse not to be the smartest person in every
Yeah.
room you walk into, right? So it'd be like, hey, did you see that? Yep. Did you know that? Yep, I did. You read it. He also, vampires don't sleep. So this guy stays up all night and reads shit and learns
I
piano.
feel like, yeah, that wouldn't be very sustainable for the relationship because would you ever listen to any input Bella had? I'm 800.
Even if you say I'm 100.
Tell me where to invest my money.
Yeah.
I know how this works.
You know what? Yeah, let's just go with your instinct over my 800 years of experience. How dare you?
Literally anything you could say to them is condescending.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't make the bed.
But after 800 years, it doesn't matter.
I come from a time where, listen, the first 500 years of my life, I didn't have a bed.
I was sleeping with sheep in my bedroom. You know, this is what they used to do, eh? They used to bring sheep into the house
How the fuck do you know
to
that?
keep the house warm in the wintertime.
What is in
That was
in
like
life?
as late as 100 years ago. People used to bring their farm animals inside, along with the heat from the fireplace, to keep the whole place warm. Isn't that nuts?
That was also a really underrated scene in Toy Story.
I remember that. One more
Good night,
question.
Woody.
One more question.
One more question. Also, quick aside. Big baller Jesse Blake, sat glass level
How did you do that?
at the Rogers place.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys ever sat glass level.
One time.
at an NHL game.
What is glass level? Like what
I
qualifies?
was literally me and the glass, and I was hitting the glass to
No.
touch McDavid.
Never. I sat fifth row when I was like a kid. My parents, we were given tickets by like a neighbor or something. We couldn't freaking afford that. And it was for Leafs versus Ducks. And the Leafs kicked their ass. And I saw Wade Belak get in a fight. It was great. Never touched the glass though.
I saw Cujo's first game as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
You son of a gun.
Wow.
And Thomas Kaberle's, I think, first game too. Like, it was his first. And Kaberle was paired with Jason Smith. I'll remember that. And they beat the Detroit Red Wings 2-1.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was at Maple
That's
Leaf
cool.
Gardens. It was the last first game at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Wow. God damn it.
And the thing that blew my mind,
right, Adam.
the thing that blew my mind at the time was when players got hit, the amount of shaking the boards had.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things the Leafs had invented, that like Montreal had like hardcore boards that didn't move, and the Leafs had these boards that sort of moved. So their injuries were less, and they found that they had to include that in the rest of the NHL.
A woman a little bit further down our row, she was standing up and she was walking out, and a body check came right in, knocked her right in the shoulder. She
No
was okay,
way.
but it was funny.
That's hilarious.
Everybody around laughed and was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And that was funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So yeah, wobbly glass.
That was
but,
a
yeah.
that was a thing. That was a thing that they used to have, these hardcore boards that would just no give. Brutal.
Yeah, they used to have like chain link fence.
Yeah, chicken
And
wire.
polio.
And
Actual last question.
we're in so much trouble for that one.
Are we?
I don't think so.
With
the polio
It's-
crowd?
No.
If you have
the
polio,
crowd.
email us and let us know. what
Nobody's
polio
had
is.
polio.
Let
And
us
if you
know what it's
have,
like.
then you should get the vaccination, kids. Okay, come on.
Well, like Jim Jeffries is a comedian who I think is in his mid-30s. And how old would his mom be? She had polio.
Yeah, my grandfather had it. I think various members of my family had it. I think it
It's
was
not very trendy right now, polio.
well, no, because the vaccine eradicated it, and the only reason it's back is people stopped getting vaccinated.
It's back?
Yeah.
Oh.
So is the measles and the mumps.
And the Black Plague.
Not the Black Plague. We have no vaccination against that, I don't think, anyway.
Oh, good.
It's okay. The whole thing is it carries rats and mosquitoes and stuff. We're good.
That was in Toy Story.
Are there? This is also from the Reddit page. Second most upvoted question: are there more chairs in the world or people?
Chairs. More chairs. Has to be more chairs.
You have to think about underdeveloped countries. They don't have as many chairs as we have.
Now, does a chair count if it's like, if you sit on a log, that's a chair, right?
No,
No, it's a
No,
log.
it has to be built as a chair.
Okay.
You can sit on anything.
Is a couch a chair?
Yes, and that counts as one chair.
A device
Not three.
specifically for sitting.
So benches or chairs?
Yeah.
Yes, there are more chairs than people.
Now,
I would wager that there are more chairs in North America than there are people in the world.
no,
we have so much shit. We just have so much
Think
shit.
about a person with a big house. You got a dining table. You got a kitchen. You got a living room. You got upstairs chairs in
You
your
never
bedroom.
use them. And
they're just there.
let's say you go to school. You got 30 chairs in a classroom.
A school.
You know what? You changed my mind. How many chairs do you sit in a day?
We're sitting in chairs that are not ours right now.
There might be 13 chairs for every human being.
There might be a lot of.
Telling you.
Yeah, even more than that.
Can I go home?
Let's keep asking questions so Steve can't go home.
I'm going to get home at like almost midnight.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, what are you doing tomorrow?
I know.
Nothing.
What are you worried about?
See, Adam and I have work.
Yeah. Jesse's got his first day with
I got
Tim
my
and
first
Sid tomorrow.
day on my first on my new job.
I beat the threes circuit, and now I need to get 3 stars on every
Well, I
team.
need to go play Battlefront too, but whatever.
Oh, cool.
I'm just hanging with my friends. That's
cool.
all.
Well, when you leave here in 8 minutes and get home in 10, you let me know how Battlefront goes, Adam.
Well, I have to let my friend Steve out first. So,
Steven.
anyway, hey, thanks so much for listening. Happy 2018. We really, truly do hope that you have a wonderful year. And we're excited to be back. And we will be back with a new podcast recorded Wednesday night. So it'll go up late Wednesday, available for you Thursday. So if you normally listen on a Friday, you'll be able to listen a day early. The way it's going to work this month is the Leafs are playing a lot of games Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. We're going to try to record on the days that they're not playing. And of course, we are now recording in the evenings because of Jesse's new gig. So we're going to be playing around with the days a little bit. And I know that's a little bit frustrating for you, but expect them Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday,
and
Thursday.
then the days we record will be around an 11:30 upload.
yeah.
Like half the time you're going to get the podcast earlier than you're used to. So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Yeah, actually, all the time. The whole time.
No.
Oh, no,
not-
you're right.
not on days, yeah.
Also not
Yeah,
correct.
you.
There we
you
go.
corrected,
If I just walk out of the studio,
You're the one that wants to end the
fucking
show.
somewhere.
Fair.
Like,
See you next time.
To be fair, you did say backpack.
and I'm going to scream about it on the way home.
I love it.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.